Hi, I'm Caroline,
And I'm Christine.
and today we will be discussing the Psychological Science article titled Genetic Pleiotropy Explains Associations Between Musical Auditory Discrimination and Intelligence. First, we will discuss a bit about the purpose of the experiment, as well as some background information. First of all, pleiotropy means the production by a single gene of two or more apparently unrelated effects, which is a common thing throughout this article. The researchers start out by discussing how intelligence is commonly associated with musical ability. That is to say that a high IQ results in a high musical ability. And while there have been several studies in the past done about these associations, there has yet to be one that specifically focused on a possible genetic factor that links these two ideas. So this study is the first one to use exclusively genetics to explore associations between musical discrimination and intelligence. And this is the overall goal of the experiment, to explore the associations between these two things. Underneath these goals, there are a few aims specifically. The first being to estimate genetic and/or environmental influences between musical discrimination skills, specifically melody, rhythm, and pitch, and IQ. And when they refer to genetic and environmental influences, genetic they're referring to genes, of course, and environmental they're referring to, say, where you grew up, what kind of school you went to, what type of parents you had, the sorts of friends that you made, etc. But the second aim is to see whether these four variables, the three musical discrimination skills plus IQ, can be explained by the general cognitive ability factor, or whether a two-factor model provides a better fit for the data in the end.
So the participants in this study were twins. They were either monozygotic twins, which is identical twins, and these twins share all of their genetic makeup, or they're dizygotic twins, which are fraternal twins, and they share only half of their genetic makeup. So there was about 10,500 twins in this study. They all came from the Swedish Twin Registry, and the ages were about from 27 to 54 years old. The mean age was about 40. The first of the tests that they ran was a music ability test. This was measured with the Swedish Musical Discrimination Test, or the SMDT. This test measured three musical discrimination skills: pitch, melody, and rhythm. Pitch had 27 trials. Two tones were presented at about 590 milliseconds. They were separated by about a second of silence, and the participants had to decide which of the tones was higher. The melody discrimination test comprised of 18 trials. These trials were comprised of piano tones, and one of these tones was altered in some way. The participants therefore had to discriminate which of the tones was changed. Finally, they did a rhythm discrimination test, which had also 18 trials. There were about two sequences, 60 milliseconds each. Out of the 18 trials, 11 of the stimuli were somehow altered, and the participants had to discriminate which of these tones was altered. The second test they ran was an intelligence test, and this was run with the Weiner-Matrizin test, the WMT. It had about 24 multiple choice questions, and the participants took about 25 minutes to complete the exam.
Moving on, we have analyses and genetic modeling. When the researchers conducted this experiment, they decided that they would categorize the resulting data based on genetics of the twins that were participating. So specifically, monozygotic identical twins versus dizygotic fraternal twins. Monozygotic twins share all the same genetics, while dizygotic twins share about half of their genetic makeup. One of the reasons the researchers decided to model their data in this way was to help explain any variance in traits that might come up due to genetics that are shared, environmental influences that are shared, or environmental influences that are not shared.
The researchers also thought that the monozygotic twins would have a higher correlation between their music discrimination skills because they share their genetic makeup than the dizygotic twins, which only share half of their genetic makeup, so their music discrimination skills should vary a little bit. The preliminary analysis suggests that overall, sex did have an impact on IQ. So from this table 1, you can see that men scored higher on IQ than women. If you look over here, men had a mean average score of IQ 13.5 versus females, which had 12.3 mean score. This was also seen with pitch. Women generally scored lower with pitch discrimination than men. This can be seen with table 1 once again. Men scored a mean of 18.6, while females had 17.8. The other two music ability discrimination skills, rhythm and melody, sex had no impact on this. They also found that as age increased, IQ lowered and pitch discrimination scores also lowered.
And moving on to the phenotypic association results. As you can see in this table, we have the data they collected on the monozygotic and dizygotic twins, categorized out the way they explained before. And it shows that monozygotic twins showed a higher correlation than dizygotic twins amongst each other, which suggests that there is a genetic influence involved. And this can be seen if you look at the table. The MZ twin correlations numbers are significantly higher than the DZ twin correlation numbers. And this is true throughout the whole table, regardless of gender of the MZ twins or the DZ twins.
This is also in correlation with what the researchers thought, that the monozygotic twins would have a higher correlation between the music discrimination skills than the dizygotic twins, this being because the monozygotic twins share all of their genetic makeup, so that has an impact on their music discrimination skills versus the dizygotic twins, which only share half.
And with all of the resulting data, the researchers decided that a two-factor model would be most appropriate in showing what they found. And they found a couple of things. The first being that there is a genetic factor that is involved in the association of the three musical discrimination skills, again, melody, rhythm, and pitch, and IQ. And so that factor goes on the horizontal line at the bottom of the model. However, they also found an additional genetic factor that correlates the three musical discriminations with each other, but not with IQ. So this genetic factor is represented on the vertical line, creating this two-factor model.
Overall, the article suggests that genetics influence both IQ and musical tasks. So once again, on the two-factor model, that is the line that goes horizontally. So genetics influence your IQ, and this therefore influences your ability to discriminate between the musical skills. And also, genetics has an influence on the musical tasks by themselves. This is the vertical line on the two-factor model and is completely independent of IQ score. The results also suggest that this could be due to environmental factors. These environmental factors can be selecting for certain genes. For example, if someone looks like they are a good musician, such as being a cello player, they could be put into cello lessons. Therefore, Their environment predisposes them to being good at playing cello, and therefore they develop music discrimination skills and are good at discriminating between melody, pitch, and rhythm. So overall, the article suggested that it was either due to a genetic influence or an environmental influence. Thank you.
Thank you.